Jane Belk Moncure also made a book about my bee book. So let's see all of those animals and objects that begin with the letter D. Think about it. Think. My D book by Jane Belk Moncure. Little D had a box. I will find things that begin with my D sound, she said. I will put them into my sound box. Little D found dolls. Dolls begins with the letter D. She found all kinds of dolls. Look at all those kinds. Dolls and more dolls. Interesting, right? One doll danced. One doll played a drum. Did little D put the dolls into her box? She did. But some dolls fell out. So little D said, I will turn this box into a house for the dolls. And she did. She turned this box into this house for the dolls. Very smart, little D. I like little D. Little D made the dolls, a desk and a chest of drawers. So there's the desk and the chest of drawers. She made a dining room with a table and dishes for the table. So dishes begins with the letter D. Dining room begins with the letter D. That's very smart of little D. Little D made the doll some dresses. She made all kinds of dresses. Dresses begins with the letter D. Then she dressed her dolls and took them for a drive in the desert. They saw a dromedary. So she dressed her dolls because they were going out with her. She is driving a car in the desert. You see those cactuses? That's the desert. And they saw a dromedary. Well, that looks like a camel, doesn't it? Maybe camel is another word for dromedary. Little D made some toys for her dolls. She made ducks for her dolls. She made how many ducks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ducks. She made dogs for her dolls. Oh my God, she also made dogs. She put the ducks and the dogs into the house. Remember, she had a box and she turned the box into a house for her dolls. But now she doesn't only have dolls, she has ducks and dogs. Very good. One day the doll was sick. So she took the doll to a doctor. You see the doctor? Doctor begins with the letter D. One day, a doll had a toothache. So little D took the doll to a dentist. Dentist. And a dentist also begins with the letter D. So wait a minute. We have dromedary, we have desert, we have drive, we have dishes, we have dining room, we have ducks and dogs, we have a house with all of those things. That was the box. And we have doctor and a dentist. That's a lot of D words. One day, little D walked out of her house. I will buy donuts for my dolls, she said. We will have donuts for dinner. So you see here are the donuts. She went to the donut shop like you would go to Dunkin' Donuts and get donuts. Wow, D for donuts? That sounds yummy. She put a dozen donuts on the dining room table. A dozen of donuts means she has 12 donuts. I wonder if she has 12 dolls, or she just has a few dolls and then she's including herself and the dog and the duck, right? Why did she need a dozen? Here's the dromedary. Here's the chest of drawers. Here's the desk. Here are the dolls' dresses and the ducks. Well, let's answer that question. Why did she need a dozen of donuts? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I guess she's 11, right? So she needs a lot of donuts because there's a lot of dolls. And she also wants to take participation in it too. So that's a very smart thing to do. And we forgot to count the one next to her, the one that's over here. That makes 11. And then she's 12. Can you read these words with little d? Diamond. Domino. Daisy. Diary. Deer. Dustpan. Dwarf. Dove. Donkey. Dandelion. Dog. And dinosaur. Wow, we have a lot of D words. The end. Let's see if you can recall as many pictures of objects and animals that were in the story. So tell your teacher which ones begin with the letter D. Because smart is not something you are. Smart is something you get.